Hey, what's up YouTube? Lightsaber Samurai here, and I'm back again for another video. And this time it is to start a new video game series that I originally got from the YouTube channel GameSack. And if you follow GameSack, they had a couple of videos where the topic was game battle is what they called it. And what they did is they pit two games against each other. Either they were games that people debated about in the past, or there were two games with similar gameplay and just gameplay structure, and pitted them together to see who was the winner. And as always, this started out with me in the YouTube comments section of their video talking about games that I thought had similar feels and play styles and significance as far as advancements in gameplay and yada yada yada. Long story short, I just decided, well, I have my own YouTube channel, I might as well just do the video myself. So without further ado, we will get into these credits and then we will get into the game. So, video game versus part 1. Let's talk about it. Okay, so today's topic on video game versus, we're going to talk about cover-based shooters, and we're not going to go with the popular ones. When most people think cover-based shooters, they're thinking games like Gears of War or the Mass Effect series, even more current Grand Theft Auto games and the Uncharted series. But the two I want to talk about are pretty much pioneers in the genre, and we are going to take a look at Win-Back Covert Operations on the PS2 as well as Kill Switch on the original Xbox. So let's start with Win-Back first because it was the first to come out, so let's take a look at that now. Alrighty, in the blue corner, coming out in 2001 and being published by Koei, it is Win-Back Covert Operations. And Win-Back Covert Operations is a remake of Win-Back that came out on the N64. And so far as I can tell, this is the original cover-based shooter. The first game, as far as I know, that uses the cover-based mechanic as a primary gameplay mechanic in its gameplay. In this, you play as a secret agent named Jean-Luc, and he is part of a secret organization whose name I can't remember at this point, but the objective is to stop a rogue terrorist group from taking over this satellite weapon. Actually, you have to win it back, hence the name, and they are planning, unless their demands are met, to fire this weapon again in the next few hours. So you are part of a strike team sent to regain control of the satellite and eliminate the terrorist. And in this, of course, it's a third person cover-based shooter, and I actually like it. I think it plays very well. Starting off with the graphics for the time looked pretty good. The textures were okay at the time. The color kind of started to have that gray overlay that you've seen in a lot of games in the 6th and 7th generation, but the colors aren't as muted as some other games, including Kill Switch, which we'll take a look at in a second. Difficulty wise, the difficulty is pretty much up there, as is the trope in cover-based shooters. You really can't run out and run and gun like you can in a lot of games. You'll go down fast if you do. But I mean, for being the first attempt, most of the cover-based mechanics are there. You've got the press up against wall. You can lean over low obstacles, and you can lean right and left from behind tall obstacles and take out the enemies, rinse and repeat. One thing that is missing as far as the controls is the blind fire mechanic, which Killzone, as far as I know, made popular. We'll talk about that more here in a little bit. But I found myself enjoying this game quite a bit. The game doesn't take itself very seriously, which I think is a strength of the game. Listening to the voice acting, which I wish I had a sample to show you, but the voice acting in this game is comically bad. Definitely, if you wanted to look at video games with bad voice acting, this would be in it. But like I said, I think that adds to the game's charm. It's very campy and arcadey, and I enjoy that in the game. It actually, that was one of the reasons why I kept playing. The fun factor was there, all quirks aside, and the fact that it didn't take itself too seriously was a breath of fresh air. In this, you get pretty much 4 main weapons. You have a pistol with unlimited ammo, which is very nice. You have a long-range submachine gun, a close-range shotgun, and then you get other weapons like rocket launchers and the like. So far going through this game, I played through this game for actually way longer than I intended to while capturing footage for this game, and during the course of that I came across a boss character, and the storyline pretty much progressed. The storyline itself is cookie cutter, but that's okay. One of the things that I didn't enjoy is that on the back of the case it compared itself to Metal Gear Solid 2, and Metal Gear Solid 2 this is not. But if you want a mindless third-person cover-based shooter, you can't do much worse than win back Covert Operations. Like I said, I enjoyed this game a lot, and I do plan on beating this game, as I feel like I've got about a fourth of the way through it already. So if you see win back, it is like a $5 game and definitely worth your investment. So if you see it, it has my recommendation. Do indeed scoop it up. Alrighty, in the bread corner, released in 2003 and published by Namco, it's Kill Switch on the original Xbox. And in Kill Switch, this one it's a more of a sci-fi theme in this, where you play as an operative who I believe is controlled remotely by another person. And in this, it's kind of your basic cover-based shooter with kind of the Call of Duty, you know, take out the terrorists type of story. The story is very forgettable, unfortunately, and cookie cutter, just like Win Back. But where this game falls into trouble is I feel like the game takes itself way too seriously. It's trying to be the next blockbuster in terms of story and things like that, and it's really not. This is really not the type of game for that, and that's not a bad thing. Gameplay wise, the gameplay is fantastic. As far as the mechanics, the cover-based mechanics are there, all the ones you're familiar with: the press up against the walls, the leaning over low objects, leaning from the side to side from tall objects like Kill Switch. But this introduced something very crucial that Kill Switch didn't, or excuse me, that Win Back did not have. And in Kill Switch, they introduced the blind fire, and the blind fire, of course, lets you go offensive while keeping yourself perfectly in cover. Normally, you kind of have to peek out a little bit and put yourself in danger. While playing this game, now Win Back did have C4, while in this game you had grenades, and I think the grenades work much better than they did in Win Back, even though I'm about to blow myself up here. But all that aside, another cool thing is in Win Back, I did not mention that you did have a manual aim function in that, and in this you have a ADS, so you can look down the sights, and I thought it worked very well. Unfortunately, you can't look down the sights while you're moving, but still, I was able to use the aim down the sights when I was trying to get enemies that were in hard to reach places and the like. Overall, I think this game is very good. The graphics are actually sharper. Apologies for the quality of this content. I was having trouble with my capture card at the time of capturing this footage, but rest assured that the image is very much sharper than what you're seeing here, and the graphics are definitely a step up from what we saw in Win Back. Of course, this game was released 2 years later, and it came out on the more powerful Xbox, and it displayed in 480p. All in all, that being said, though, if I had to choose between the two, I would have to go with Win Back. I like Killzone. Killzone is an excellent game, but I feel like just the fact that it takes itself too seriously, I'd have to give the nod to Win Back. That being said, both cheap and both recommended. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you today, but as always, please comment in the comment section below. What do you guys think about the 2 games I picked? What are 2 games that you feel like are similar that we can talk about next time? Of course, I'm always open to suggestions. So without further ado, questions, comments, concerns, threats in the comment section below. Also, if you do enjoy this content, please give me a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I do believe that's all I got for you. Lightsaber Samurai out. Peace. Hey guys, what's up? Lightsaber Samurai here, telling you to like and subscribe this bad boy on YouTube. If you enjoy the content, my goal is to reach 1,000 by the end of the year and to reach 500 by the end of the summer. So If you do like this content, please smash that like button. Go ahead and subscribe, and please tell your friends, because like I said, we're ready to spread this out and grow quickly. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of work on the game room. Got a game room tour coming down the line, as well as some cool pickups videos, so stay tuned.